I'll fuck around and add this real quick.
God damn it! Fuck, man, I need my green screen.
You know, might as well get into it with the Super Bowl. You know, we already talked about it over time, so it's like it's been a few days. People that are talking about fire Kyle Shanahan, that's my biggest issue with it, because I definitely believe that he should be held accountable and the players should give him shit over it. But man, I don't want to start over, because who's gonna replace him? I don't know. No, you know, and people like, you got these sports guys always saying it's Bill Belichick, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, they must be high.
To tear anything down. I don't think you need to tear anything down. The Niners are good. They just, you know what I mean? It's all about like being prepared for the moment with what we have.
And they were not.
And they weren't. That's it. We're not a bad team. We're a great team. No one could say that otherwise, dude. You know?
Yeah.
They should have just ran the ball, dude. That last drive in overtime, the distance away from the end zone is like I said, it's the average distance that McCaffrey was slicing through their defensive line when he would run the ball. We could have had that shit. It boggles my mind why we couldn't. It's like the first time that was it? Because sometimes I get it mixed up with the first loss to KC and also 2013. Like, I feel like it was also a running issue. It's like, why don't we just fucking run the ball?
Yeah, they did not run enough.
And what was it?
Garoppolo, which is like worse technically.
Was it Frank Gore at the time? Like, we could have.
No, it was
who was our running back at the time?
Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, Mostert. Yeah,
because this was
the first KC loss.
Yeah, this was coming off of not a week before, but 2 weeks before in the NFC Championship. Like, they kicked the shit out of Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, and I think he got like 4 touchdowns. So I'm like, they ran it a lot. So I'm like, why don't you do that more? I don't know. I think to myself, is he just trying to like prop up his quarterback? It's like to make him the story. Very, you know, it seems like it's
that's what it seems like. That's
controversy with Marshawn Lynch and not giving him the ball at the end, that sort of thing. I'm like, dude, stop trying to make the quarterbacks the hero, man. Like, just fucking run it. You
just win the game.
Yes,
with the best option available. Like, let's stop trying to like create a narrative and all this and a story for ESPN to fucking talk about. Yeah. It's like Purdy's gonna get his fucking roses, his flowers, no matter what.
Right.
He was good in the game, dude.
He was good, yeah. And if you win, it's like,
if that was a reason, man, that would fucking piss me off, man. If I was part of the organization, I heard that was the whole reason that they were just like, yeah, we'll try to get this on a pass. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if you know you can get through, because even though they stopped McCaffrey a couple times, it didn't seem like he was getting as much. It's like, it doesn't mean stop altogether. Like, that's happened before. I feel like that's how they won against Detroit and Green Bay when they came back. They just went back to what they know. Run that shit. This is why I'm like, we should just get back into Madden, because there's a bunch of people who don't know what the hell they're talking about in terms of football. So it's just like, what are you doing? So I don't hate on Kansas City, like, you know, Raiders fans.
I won't take anything away from them. They capitalize, man.
I can understand how people could get annoyed with hearing about Mahomes all the time or Kansas City, but then it's just like, well, I mean, at least because they've been through like the drought for a long time. Now this is their time. That's fine.
It is their time, yeah.
But I'm like, don't start all over. Don't fire Kyle Shanahan now.
Yeah, that would be the wrong move. Honestly, I don't think the Yorks are thinking to do that.
No.
Honestly, like, it's just they just didn't. They made the wrong fucking decisions. They made the wrong play calls, man. That's what it is. Yeah, I just would have figured, like, in the predicament they're in overtime, and obviously Kansas City is going down the field at will. I just would have thought, like, they would, like you said, they would stick to what they know best in their offense, fucking run the ball. Because I felt that at the last second when they were right there, it was like maybe 1st and goal, and I saw them doing passes, like, why the fuck is that?
Yeah, like,
why? You know, just score.
There's like so many reasons. Like, the offense was always holding Bosa, and their offense is holding Bosa. They're not getting those calls, and he even called it out, and it's just kind of like, okay, I mean, that kind of thing happens, but it's just like, yo, like, I don't even care about him with the whole not knowing the rules, but because it's like, I think that was just miscommunication that happens. Honestly, if they would have scored, it probably would have been more embarrassing, because they would have thought, we won, yeah, you know, like,
the Niners, if we scored first?
Yes, if they scored a touchdown, they probably would have thought game over, but it's like, nope, they get it back. And Yeah, that would have been more embarrassing, I think. Even though they would have scored, because they would have like,
Yeah.
they not know the new rule. I mean, it's like new old rules. It's fucking weird, but it's just, yeah, I didn't understand it. I'm not surprised Steve Wilkes got fired. Like, even though they were great in the first half, they fell off. But they're like, oh, it's a scapegoat move, and I'm like, probably, but again, anybody is saying fire Kyle, it's like, what, do you want to go back to a 2-15 season, trying to reset everything?
He's a good coach. He's a good coach. Just, you know.
Yeah, man.
Is there like whispers of people wanting to leave now?
BA, Brandon Ayuk. But because his contract is up, so yeah, I don't want him to leave. But you know, if it gets like to that unreasonable point where it's just kind of like, what's up? I want to get hella money. Then it's like, at least Juwan Jennings is still there. You know, he could replace him if that was the case, starting. Yeah, but because he's been clutch.
Of course, you know, I wouldn't say I'm diehard Niners, but I'm a Niners. Like, you know, my family's been Niners all my life. I wouldn't say I'm like a fair weather fan either and stuff, but like, you know, I don't follow the NFL as closely as I used to and stuff. And yeah, part of that's because the Niners have been like, there was the dark age, you know. I think they'll be back up. I think they're not going to tear it down, if you ask me. It's the same with the Warriors. Like, you know, like sometimes I just gotta like, I can only take so much of Kendrick Perkins and fucking Stephen A. Smith, you know.
Dude, yeah. It's been a few days, but then they've been on a hot streak until I guess they lost to the Clippers. But they've been looking decent. I mean, not.
They still look good against the Clippers. They gotta stop blowing leads.
Yeah,
in the fourth.
And then like Clay coming off the bench. I think that's not the wrong thing to do. It feels like because he's been injured, I feel like that's the right move so he can get some rest beforehand. So he's fresh when everybody else is not. Yeah, and it's
definitely not who he used to be.
Yeah,
if we could have flashes of him doing that off the bench, I'm with it. And if he's with it, then you know, awesome. Because you know, I don't want him to leave either. At the same time, I really don't. So
yeah, no, I don't want
to be on the bench and be a role player to continue to build the team. You know, let's do it.
So I figured by the end of the year, or end of the season, Draymond's gonna leave, and maybe Clay's gonna leave or retire. I don't know. I don't know what his deal is right now, but as far as like his contract, but yeah, I don't want him to like go to another team unless he's like trying to be the lead. But
I'd rather they just retire. Him and Draymond just retire.
Yeah, like 2 Achilles injuries and like I think it was an MCL or ACL. It's like that's a lot.
You know, and it's like if you think about it, you know, as much as you know, we are a dynasty, right? It's like,
yep, you
might as well like just end your career here. You know what I mean? And it's like it's good for you in your retirement too. I think your opportunities to make money because it's just like yo, he never left. That's part. It's almost like a part of your brand. It's like you were with the Warriors till the very very end.
It's kind of like Kobe.
Just retire. Yeah, just like Kobe. Just retire. Otherwise, you know what I mean? Just retire. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking lie, dude. Like a part of me, it'll hurt to see any of them on another team, dude. Straight up. Because I know it sucked to see Jordan on the Wizards, even though he was like still a top scorer in the league and stuff. It's just like, damn, it's not the same though. He's not with a winning team.
I'm not saying he deserved it, but he kind of like he made that happen himself in a way. Because you can't come in acting like you're gonna be top dog all of a sudden. I feel like that's kind of
never. Even in the year we won against the Celtics, I never bought into the pool party bandwagon.
No, not like that.
And again, it's because after, like I said, that year in the postseason, after the Denver series, I felt like he was non-existent. Like he was getting up in the Denver series. He had a lot of good performances during the Denver series, but after that, he was really really spotty after that. Yep. Honestly, and then it just that type of play just carried on to the following season after he gets his bag, and then that's when I was just like, man, fuck this dude. Yeah, and all the attitude reports. It was like, dude, get him out of here. So yeah.
You can't come in there saying some shit in practice like, you're an expensive backpack for 30, saying that to Draymond Green. How are you going to say that and not expect to get punched in the face?
I think the internet has spoken a lot of people that like are real Warrior fans. It's like, hey, I wouldn't have punched him, but I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, considering who the punch came from, like how the fuck is he not going to fucking sock that kid in the mouth?
Exactly.
Like, dude, are you kidding me? He fucking hey, if he had the balls to say that to Draymond, you better have the balls to fucking take whatever comes from Draymond after saying that shit. Yo, come on, man. Hey, dude, especially after the way Draymond played in these past couple of games, dude. And people are saying that he's washed. Like, look at him. He's still one of the best defensive players right now. You can't say that he's not. He's still fucking good.
Yeah, he's earned his place.
He's a part of the sauce.
He was just as much as a reason. I mean, Steph Curry, of course, is a better player, but Draymond's a better defensive player. Draymond.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be like I'll pick Draymond over everybody else, but I don't not anybody that's new.
I'm just talking about like, yeah, especially anybody outside of the core of the Warriors that have won the rings. Obviously, is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Anybody new coming in and trying to fuck with the magic of the Dubs, it's like, come on now. Obviously, think a little too highly of yourself.
Did you want to talk about the Vince McMahon thing?
I know we've talked about it enough off camera, but that motherfucker's guilty.
Yeah, man. Like, as much as I loved wrestling back then in WWF/E, I'm like, I could totally see Vince doing this shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we talked about it yesterday, right? We were kind of like, probably another reason he might be doing this stuff is just so like he could kind of like coerce people into doing the booking that he wants, for the pay-per-views and just in general for the shows. It's like, I got this on you. If you don't if you don't put this person over, you know what I mean? I'll release this, put this out. I'll leak this. There's a lot of people that have like, I think Bret Hart, Paul London. There's a few wrestlers that have been like, yeah, I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? Yeah. There was also Ashley Massaro when they do shows in Saudi Arabia and all that stuff during the Desert Storm. Yeah, Ashley Massaro, supposedly she got drugged and raped out there by like a military doctor.
Goddamn.
And then they tried to cover it up, kind of thing. If Vince was doing all that stuff that he's accused of now, I think the reason they were covering up the thing with Ashley Massaro too is like that probably would have led to people investigating further, and then leading to the stuff that he's been doing too, and everybody else. It just would have been like it's like when you lift up the log in the forest and all the spiders start coming out. You want to prevent that shit. If you think about the business of wrestling and how it operates and stuff, it's just like, and how difficult it is to get egos to do what you want. It's just like, it isn't surprising that kind of stuff goes on. It's definitely blackmail level type stuff,
Yeah.
It sucks to hear it. I hope it is with the new age going forward, that like that stuff is just non-existent. It's good the way that they've handled it. I gotta commend them on how they've handled it, because it's like people are only talking about WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Everybody's just talking about the actual like content of the build up to WrestleMania. And I also feel like they've had the right responses to it, specifically in press conferences and stuff like that, because it's just like, yo, that's Vince, that's not us.
Huh? You say that, and it made me think, like, I wonder if that's part of the reason why The Rock got inserted into, like, in front of Cody Rhodes. Like, because I know there was backlash about that.
Yeah,
but I'm like, but even that backlash,
I've heard that same thing too,
gets them off of the fucking Vince news, which is like,
there's such an allure around The Rock. It's not hard for him to like move the needle on the news and stuff. So it's just like, yeah, let's inject The Rock. Let's shift the focus on this, and The Rock can do that. Well, shit, we'll get The Rock, dude. The Rock is, for the most part, loved. You know what I mean? Yeah, he has his haters. There's a lot of big name folks that hate on The Rock, but like really, it's just like, when it comes to the WWE universe and stuff, and the public that doesn't really know about or hate on The Rock either, like, oh shit, that's cool. That's big news. They did the right move doing that, as far as like, for
business and media.
Yeah.
So like the public opinion won't really
mastermind
keep
move.
going on it. I mean, guys like Levitard will keep talking about it, but then and then you got him like with The Rock. Yeah, with The Rock jumping in. I think he has a movie. Oh no, well, because he has the sports league, the football league coming out, I think this year. I could have sworn he has a movie, but I'm not sure. But I figured, yeah, I
think he does have a movie coming out. I don't know if it's a big tentpole movie, but he's got something coming up soon.
We see those like Dark Side of the Ring and those stories and shit that we've grew up with hearing, like with Chris Benoit and all the drug use and yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's a hard business.
And then and with your brother talking about the insider stuff too, it's just like, fuck. Yeah, man, it's pretty brutal.
People talk about Hollywood having its seedy side and stuff, those same complexities and difficulties in living that life and doing that kind of business. So, I just feel like Vince McMahon has definitely operated like a fucking mafia head. I'm not saying he's killed people, but like, you know what I mean? Everything up to that.
People died under his watch. It's not that.
Yeah, people have died under his watch. Man, it's sad. It's a can of worms talking about like all the dark side of the WWE and Vince and shit, man.
Yeah.
It's like, huh. Yeah, that's why sometimes it like when that stuff comes up, it's like it does tarnish the image of all those other great things about WWF and its history. You know, it's like there's a lot of great things I love. Like, I'm one of the biggest fans, but like, yeah, because when that stuff comes up, it's just like it's hard to turn away from it. You know, it's hard to doubt a lot of that.
So I am excited about Deadpool and Wolverine. So you said
I really want to talk about.
I know you saw the trailer. I saw the trailer, and I'm into it. I'm into the TVA being involved. Like, I know, like, guys like New Rockstars had their theories about it. They, there was a lot going on. We know Eliath is there because he was fucking people up there. I don't get. I'm just.
Is Eliath? Are you talking about the big giant, like
that purple smoke monster that the He Who Remains was controlling?
Yeah,
where they enchant. And that's what I
think they're at the other time in where you see that sign, the 20th Century Fox sign.
There was a part where the guy, one of the TVA agents, is in chains, and then he just gets swooped. And then,
that's like, right. I totally missed that, dude.
And he just goes, "Oh my fuck!" Be alive. Yeah, so
I
think that's Eliath, because like that background and everything was very similar to when he was there. I don't know if there's like other parts of the void in that whole area that you can go to that looks different. But like, as far as the environment, but that area was for sure that was Eliath. And if that's the case, but I'm like, because in my mind I'm like, what the fuck? So wait a minute, did the shit of Loki happen during this time, or did they not happen, or what's?
Could be at the same time, maybe, right? I mean, there's also that. I think it's really loose where they could like fit this into the chronology of Phase 4, Phase 5.
Yeah, because I'm like, does this mean B-15 is going to be around? I thought she was left in charge, and Mobius went to go. I'm wondering if she's going to show up, because last we saw of Loki,
maybe Owen Wilson shows up. Maybe it can't be Owen Wilson. Maybe Loki.
Maybe. I mean, especially with all the changes, they had to have known. So
there's a lot of rumored cameos that I've read. I mean, of course, I know Elektra's in it. People have said that much. Jennifer Garner's Elektra. People have actually even said that like Scarlet Witch is somewhere in here as well. MCU has gotten to the point where like they built up their own lore outside of the comic books, that they could do a big movie for Deadpool and have it be built around just like stuff specifically that's been created within the MCU. Because as far as I know, like this movie is not inspired by any particular story out of the books that I know of, but it's probably going to be like a bunch of different stories, maybe, and like their own version of it. I think that's why it's cool that the TVA is involved.
I mean, it makes sense. The end of Deadpool 2. The end of Deadpool
2. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Because as far as I know, Deadpool and Wolverine have never been involved with the TVA in the comic books, but it's just like, of course, like when you deal with stuff within the MCU, it's gonna make sense. And it is the perfect way to like bring these two in. Because
yeah, I was gonna say the end of Deadpool 2. Yeah, he had his little time machine, or his little time device he got from Cable, and then it's like people were saying this kind of just as a joke, but then when the whole Fox merger happened, it's like, oh, this could legitimately happen. And I think what they're trying to do, which I feel like they did this with the Days of Future Past X-Men, just kind of fix everything. People had their complaints. My thing was, I've always thought it was a business issue, where when Bob Iger left, he understood content and not just making money, where spacing stuff out, not just slamming all the content at once, like oversaturating with MCU, because you know how it is. People are going to just get annoyed and like, oh my God, another one, and just that.
This gives them more reasons to complain when things don't actually live up to like what they want. And I'm probably a little bit guilty of that too. And I think it is better that they do have a slow trickle of the content like they used to, just like you said, because of course, like, a part of me is like, yeah, I love more Marvel. I would love more Marvel every year, but it's like, I don't want that at the sacrifice of quality. So
yes,
yeah,
exactly. And it's fine, because I still haven't watched Echo yet, and I know it's not. I've heard good things about it.
I like it too.
Like its own thing, and I'm like, yeah, I want to watch it, because if it's like as violent as it looks, yeah, I'm gonna. Now I could catch up on it. I don't have to fucking worry about work. I feel like when Bob Chapek, that last CEO that came in, he's the one that fucked it up, because he's the one that just kept pushing for more, it seems like, to try to get more money. And of course people are going to get into the idea, because I don't think it was a bad thing to get into Disney Plus and doing series if the quality is good. I think the format works for certain series. Like Loki was amazing, and I still like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I did like Miss Marvel. It was like, her character was like a breath of fresh air to me. But I get that if they put too much too fast, it can just get overwhelming and people can reject it. So, like this movie is coming out this year, Deadpool and Wolverine, and then next year, I guess, Fantastic Four. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that. And then like Daredevil is gonna be in there at some point this year, I think, and that's fine.
Here's the thing, like I know I've complained about like some of the shows being middling and stuff like that. The reason why they went for it, and it makes sense, it's because they're trying to like transpose the comic book business model to film and TV, right? It's like you treat the movies like the big crossover events, the annuals, and then the TV, the series are a way for them to tell smaller stories and to get to know the characters better, just like the small stories that you get throughout the year up until the big crossovers and the events and stuff like that. That's like that's ideally what they're going for. But you know, I mean, there still is a quality issue with some of the shows. You know, I mean, of course, it's like they figured out the way to actually correct that is to actually get showrunners and not movie directors to do like 6-episode, 9-episode series and have them try to like, you know, stretch out and entertain people for that many episodes when they're not used to that format of storytelling. You know what I mean? It's totally different trying to make something engaging over a certain number of episodes as opposed to like a 2-hour movie. Like Moon Knight, if you cut that down to a fucking 2.5-hour Marvel movie, I would have been like, I like that. That was cool. Same with Hawkeye. Fucking the Hawkeye series. Like you took all the best parts and shit. What else? Falcon and Winter Soldier should have been a movie. I think a format that they should probably consider is just like what they did with Werewolf by Night. They could even just be 2 or 3 parters, like even shorter than a usual series, but just like you know, try to like stay away from just like filler episodes and stuff. Is like that's what I'm hoping that they do, and just not having like these middling episodes where it's just like a lot of drawn out fucking exposition and stuff. Make it make it more worthwhile. You know, we'll see that when the X-Men start being more prominent, because it's not so much world ending; it's about like them protecting their people. And that those are fucking things we haven't really seen yet in Marvel. Those kind of themes.
It's gonna be touching on like in a way racism, which is high in this country. Like just the way that people are so, it's polarizing. So I'm like,
it's gonna be MCU's way of having a little bit of a discussion and focus and spotlight on things like that, like racism and interracial relationships and all that shit. Dude, they're gonna do that, dude. They're gonna do it pretty good. I think it's just around the corner.
It just occurred to me, like, sorry, it popped in my head, like, holy shit, I can't wait for the X-Men are woke fucking posts.
Yeah, no, dude, I can't wait for conservatives to start attacking X-Men films, because it's gonna happen. Yep. We can actually say it right now, it's a prediction. Yep. That conservatives are gonna attack X-Men films. It's X-Men. X-Men has always been talking about those kind of topics. X-Men has been woke since its inception, if that's the case.
Mutant Registration Act is part of the comics.
Sorry, you ignorant fucking assholes. If like you just want to put a word that you could use for your followers to demonize a particular type of idea, and you know it, and you guys are just wrong. Man, I can't wait. It's just around the corner. It's gonna be another golden age of fucking people on Marvel's dick, and it's happening. It's happening.
When X-Men happens,
they're gonna hit the sweet spot yet again. And people are gonna just shut the fuck up. You won't hear people like talking shit. Well, there will still be people talking shit, but at least for me, the fan, I'm here. I'm ready for it.
Deadpool might
time to be alive.
Deadpool might end up being Marvel Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Helldivers, man. Yeah, when I saw clips of the second one, I was like, what the fuck is this game? This game is better Starship Troopers than the actual Starship Troopers game. Like, I can't believe it.
Oh, yeah, I remember when you tried that. I was like, nah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that was terrible.
It is better Starship Troopers than Starship Troopers, straight up. I didn't even know about this game until one of my uncles that still plays games was like, hey, Jerry, you can try Helldivers 2? And I was like, what's that? And he sent me a trailer, and I was like, okay. And that's exactly when I sent you guys the trailer. I was like, yo, this is now on the radar. Dude, it's all the best things about games, like that you've loved about video games. I mean, it's right now it's the funnest co-op game, and when we're working together, dude, we're up against fucking hell, hordes, and you have to work together. And then you have these tools at your disposal to even the odds. And how do they fucking employ them? You have to do these button combinations, which is just like, that's just the sauce that gamers love right there, is doing those little button combinations and shit. It makes it just a little bit more fun and dude,
challenging.
Man, like, yeah, it makes it challenging. And it's like when you're trying to actually like complete some of those stratagems, like there's like 9 steps to them and stuff. Just like that tension of feeling like you're down to the wire and those things are getting closer. And then, you know, I would think the way that I said it was like, it's all about managing chaos.
But I think that's the kind of game that it's fine. It doesn't have to have, like, if it like a co-op, this is the kind of game we were talking about wanting. Like just a co-op.
It is the dream game that we've been talking about. And then we finally
spend some time and then like hop back out. Nothing that's just too restricting, but then you get enough satisfaction replayed. Like, I'm enjoying that. That keeps you motivated, and it's not like it's unreasonable. You know, it's not like, oh, you have to buy, like, they do have the microtransactions and stuff, but that's fine. I mean, everybody, it's like everybody now. That's what gaming companies are going to do. But with the way that they have the progression for the other things, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes you want to play more and more.
When we're playing it, I don't feel like I'm missing any kind of story. I'm not like feeling a need for it.
Yeah.
And it's also because of the way the game presents itself. I mean, it really, like, it could have been a fucking arcade game, straight up. Like,
I mean, there's enough of a story. Just these motherfuckers are invading. Stop them.
Yeah. The menus and the interface, it's not like super polished like a AAA game, but it's good enough. You know what I mean? But it also like it's also kind of reminiscent of like a fucking arcade game. You know, like just straight up, it just gives you all the information that you want that you would see in just a straight up arcade game. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but it's just like it's like what games like Destiny 2 and maybe even the Marvel Avengers games wish they kind of achieved.
It's what Anthem wished they could be.
Yeah, that too. It's also what Anthem was probably going for. Man, that's crazy. They spent way more money on Anthem. You know they did. I would love to know what they spent to make Helldivers 2 versus what BioWare spent on Anthem.
Because it flew under the radar, so they probably had time to polish it. And then there you go.
You know what it is too? I think with Helldivers 2, they knew what they wanted to make. When they set out to make it, they were just like, it's just going to be this. It's going to be straight up PvE. We're not going to try to like shoehorn a fucking like story mode. You know what I mean? I think that's probably what Anthem was trying to do too. It's like they split their talent too much and they couldn't like focus enough on one thing and make it great. Yeah. And, you know, Helldivers 2 knew exactly what it wanted to be, and that's all that matters. Like when you're playing it and you think of it, you don't even think about like, man, I wish there was a story mode. It'd be nice if it had some kind of missions where it's like Destiny and you're kind of like going through a dungeon kind of
dungeon
thing.
Crawl.
But it's like, yeah, but like it's almost like antithesis to like what we enjoy about Helldivers anyway. I think why I like Helldivers and I think why me and you enjoy playing it is because it's kind of like we feel like we're a platoon dropped in with specific objectives.
Like it feels like there's no, you know, you have to earn your break. Like it's almost nonstop combat. It's the opposite of fucking Nightingale, what we experienced, was just nothing. And just going around, it's just like, oh, this is nice, but what the fuck? There's nothing going on. And
I feel bad for people that make assets and all the graphics and stuff like that because it's such an empty experience.
Yeah.
So there's just like, what are we doing? That's exactly what I was saying. I was like, what are we doing? And there's people definitely trying to be like, it doesn't look all that. And I'm like, you haven't even fucking played it. You haven't even played it.
Yep.
Just play it once and you will shut the fuck up and enjoy it. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm glad that this is successful, or at least it's going in that direction, because it's going to give that message to everybody else in the industry, like, hey, these are the kind of games that people want to, not just fucking FPS shooters versus each other like Call of Duty rehash over and over again. It's like, people want to co-op too.
Dude.
Yeah, unless you have Xbox, then you're shut.
Unless you have no friends. Unless you have no friends and that's why you're hating on it, then fine. Just say that you have no friends that nobody to play with. Just admit it.
Sorry.
Helldivers is for people with friends.
Speaking of which, let's go.
Let's go. Are we dropping in?
Yeah.
All right.
So I think we got enough for today.